On the 14th of July, we were sailing back to Stone Town from Dar es Salaam. As the wind is normally in a southerly direction, we had the spinnaker up, so it was a real nice sail all the way back to Stone Town. Just before our arrival in Stone Town, we dropped the spinnaker and put it away so we could get ready to anchor in front of the hotels and the anchorage point in Stone Town. This time when we raised the spinnaker, we managed to get the sock line to pull the sock down behind the spinnaker. So it's not a perfect example of how to pull down the sock.
Okay, release the blue, mate.
The sunsets sitting in front of Stone Town are absolutely amazing. The sunsets at the back on the stern of the boat, and you can see all the ships in the background, and usually you have these bright colors at sunset. Normally at sunset you'll see quite a few of the fishermen with their local dhows sailing out to go and fish for the night, and they usually pass quite close past our stern. One evening we decided to go to shore, and we parked the dinghy on the beach, and we left the guard with the dinghy, and we walked around and found this amazing food fair that they have in a square which overlooks the sea, almost on the beachfront of Stone Town, and they cook lots of seafood every night for people to buy and eat.
And this is the vegetable sambusa. This sambusa, pull up the vegetable, sliced potato, coconut berry, garlic berry. This is red food. And this is the cassava, manioca. You call it mogogo. Everything that you...
The next day was time to head off to town to do some provisioning for the boat in terms of food.
Cut them off.
So
a little bit of a wave coming through. Let's start the bridge. We'll walk down here. Yeah.
In Stone Town and most of Zanzibar, there are three modes of transport for visitors. The first is a taxi, the second is a tuk-tuk, and the third is a boda, which is a motorbike. Now, when there are two of us traveling, we have the choice of a tuk-tuk or a taxi, but sometimes we end up with two boda motorbikes.
Maya! I got you, Lovey. There's a supermarket there. So you can stop here. Stop here.
The market in Stone Town, the central market, is where you buy all your fresh vegetables, and it's certainly the biggest center where you can buy these kinds of products. There are certainly some other surprises for you at the market, which we are not always used to as foreigners. There are some real lavish hotels and guest houses in Stone Town which you can stay at if you want. As the weather is fairly calm in the area of the anchorage in Stone Town, we used this opportunity to hop in the dinghy and drive around, having a look at some of the fishing boats, an interesting floating restaurant, and just having an overview of all the local boats and what goes on in the sea in the area where we were anchored. Tugs over there. After 2 days at the anchorage in Stone Town and all of the provisioning sorted, we decided to raise the anchor and move to Chapwani Island for an anchorage point. And on our way across to the anchorage, we noticed a local fishing boat that was sinking. And what was quite interesting is that they were all the crew of the boat was standing on the bow of the boat, and first they were loading all the fishing nets across and the fish that they'd caught before they were allowing any of the fishermen to climb onto the boat that was assisting.
Making some lasagna, Nungwi.
I had noticed that the autopilot on the steering had some play in it, so I went to investigate on the autopilot system and found that the keyway had been worn in the gear, in the sprocket. So we went about making a new key to make the sprocket tight. On our first evening at Chapwani Island, we went and sat on the front of the boat and we were watching the sunset, and we heard a lot of noise coming from the island, and looking up we started seeing lots of black dots appearing from the island and coming closer towards us. It was extremely windy, blowing 30 knots on the anchorage, and as these dots got closer we noticed it was fruit bats that were all flying from the island across to the mainland for the evening. The next morning the sea was quite calm, although the water was quite stirred up, but we noticed that there were some reefs close by the boat, so we hopped in the dinghy and we drove across and jumped in the water and did some snorkeling on the reef. After 2 days at the Chapwani Island, it was time to raise the anchor and head north back up to Nungwi, which is in the top west of Zanzibar Island. I think we're going to catch a fishy. Hey, you hope. Once again, the consistent southerly winds in the morning allowed us to raise the spinnaker and head up there, a beautiful sail, all the way to Nungwi.
Isn't that nice, hey? Completely. Yeah, we have wind, so I'm saying to you. Yeah, enough wind.
Well, we started with nothing.
Right over there.
The nice thing about Nungwi is, although there are many hotels on the beachfront of Nungwi, the area, and and Kendwa. There are some restaurants and shops where you can actually go as a private person and have a lunch or supper and enjoy the surrounds. The anchorage at Nungwi is pretty spectacular, with clear water, nice white beaches off the side, and just quite calm waters most of the time. You okay? More. Good, lovely. Thanks, Pa. Jumbo, Asante. We took regular walks into the village to buy vegetables and fruit, and also to visit the supermarket, which is run by a Mike, and buy some products there as well.
Jumbo. Good guys. Kuna Matata. No.
Beautiful full moon tonight. Flat sea, very little wind. Just a beautiful evening.
If you liked this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel to see further episodes.